Today, we're going to talk about fallen arches. Our feet are very important. I always kind of wonder when I'm teaching anatomy and physiology, are our feet more important or our core more important? Well, our feet are a part of our core, and so we got to talk about those. Your arches of your feet are some of the strongest joints in your body. You have 3 main arches in your feet. So I'm going to take you down to get a view of my feet so that you can see what those arches are. You have this lateral arch, you have this inside arch, and then you have an arch across the foot just underneath your toes. Now, I'm going to turn my feet out so that you can see. When we don't protect specifically this inside arch, what we tend to do is collapse that arch. What I'm doing immediately when I collapse that arch is I'm putting a lot of pressure on this joint. Now that joint is actually very strong. It's made when we take a step to help us push off our foot and then propel our body forward, right? So we have a big, strong joint here. It is not, unfortunately, designed to just take the random weight of our body all day long. When it has to do that, the bones are going to respond by laying down more bony material. And then that's where we get things like bunions or big bony prominences, they're called, on our joints. And so we want to avoid that. So how do we avoid that especially if we feel like it's just kind of the way our feet naturally are? And there are some in the population who have naturally fallen or sunken, some people say, arches. Though there is some foot repatterning you can do, and there is some foot posture health you can work with to keep that from happening. So the first thing we want to do, we tend to stand with our feet turned out. The first thing we want to do is create a nice, equal standing posture when we're standing in line at the grocery store or at the mall or waiting to check out somewhere. So how do I do that? I want to turn my feet. And I'm actually doing that by engaging my inner thighs. I want to turn my feet forward. Instead of standing with them out, I want to stand with them forward. Now, immediately, the strongest part of my foot is taking my weight now. Now that I have the strongest part of my foot taking my weight, I'm going to use my mindfulness connection with my foot, and I'm going to push the base of my big toe and the base of my pinky toe at the same time into the ground. I'm going to turn my foot sideways and show you what happens when I do that. So when I do that and I'm collapsing, watch when I push the base of my pinky toe and base of my big toe into the ground. Watch how my arch lifts. Okay. Now I have no need to have an orthotic or something pushed up under there as a cushion, because if I had something sitting under there, it would just still allow me to collapse that arch onto whatever the cushion is. Now, there are some people who do need orthotics. You want to follow a doctor's advice on that for sure. But what you can do is really push that foot into the ground. Next, as you're pushing that foot into the ground with the top 2 parts of your foot, you want to generally push the ground away from you as you're standing there. You should actually be able to lift your toes and tap them like you're waiting on someone impatiently, because it's those 4 corners of your feet that are holding up your posture. When your 4 corners of your feet are engaged with the ground, you can then soften your knees and you'll avoid a lot of knee issues. Lastly, this is really important when we take steps, because when you take steps, if you're stepping with that foot collapsed, you're letting all of that weight of your body be taken by that little joint at the base of your big toe. Rather than, as I take a step, I walk forward, I equally place the stress across that whole arch of that top foot. And then with my glutes, if you're looking at this back leg, my glutes work together with my calf as I press off of that foot. If I'm not pressing off of that whole top of the arch, I'll cause dysfunction and foot pain. I hope you found this helpful. Tell us what you think, leave a comment. And if you would like more trainings and workouts, head to revelationwellness.org.